My name is Kyleen of Kyleen Michelle Worship. About 6 years ago, we walked into Journey Church in Colorado, and I heard the worship there and was just blown away. And so probably about a year after we started attending Journey, our worship leader, Jason Losey, had posted a post on Facebook about worship auditions. So I emailed him, stepped out in faith, and I heard back from his assistant, and she said, hey, Jason wants you to come to audition at Tuesday's rehearsal, and gave me a list of 2 songs to work on. And I learned those songs inside and out, and showed up to rehearsal and was not even able to speak because I was so nervous. I had never talked into a microphone before, had never auditioned for anything before. I thought, okay, I'm going to show up at this audition. Of course, obsessed over it for a couple days prior. Got there and did my 2 songs and ended up staying through the whole rehearsal with the band. And so I thought to myself, okay, this is going better than I thought it was going to. At the end of that rehearsal, I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe he'll email me in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll get a chance to sing sometime. And Jason asked me if I would be willing to sing background vocals that Sunday. So I sang that Sunday for the first time, 4.5 years ago. So started singing just about every week at Journey. And probably about a year after I had sang for the first time, Jason came to me and said, hey, I have a song that I'd really love for you to sing or to lead. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And it was Revelation song, but rehearsed that song, of course, inside and out, forwards and backwards. And that Sunday changed my life. I was shocked that people had come up to me that day and said, well, why have you been keeping that voice a secret for so long? You know, saying that, you know, they just felt the Holy Spirit in the room that day. And that was huge. That was life-changing for me because I never knew that I had that gift. And I started having the opportunity to lead at several different churches in the Denver area. And through that time, I started realizing that I really just was truly given this gift, and that I wanted to use that gift however God was going to allow me to do that. So at the end of September, a gentleman by the name of Rich came up to me who attends Journey Church and asked me if I have a worship album. I had always just politely said, oh, someday, and you know, deep down inside my heart, I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how that was supposed to happen. I know it was a lot of money. Didn't know where to start, and there was just, you know, it kind of seemed like a big black hole to me. I didn't really know how to get that whole process started. He goes, why don't you look into how much that costs and what's involved, and you let me know, because we need to get that going. So my friend Lisa, who was also on the worship team, was with me at that time, and Rich walked away, and I looked at her, and I was like, oh, was he just offering to pay for this album? And she goes, that's what it sounded like to me. The way God works. The week prior to Rich coming up to me at Journey, I had sang background vocals at a church called Restoration Community Church in Denver. And the worship leader that day was a gentleman by the name of Christopher Bloom, who is a producer here in the Denver area, who's produced The Fray in the past and so many other amazing musicians in this area. And so I kind of stepped out in faith and thought, well, you know, I didn't really sing very much with him. I just sing background vocals. He's doesn't really know what I'm like and how I sing. But I'm going to email him and just start asking him questions about how I would get something like this started. And so he emailed me back and said, oh yeah, I would love to, you know, work on this project with you. I would love to produce your album. And so him and I started emailing each other back and forth about cost and what's involved and time frame. So I emailed Rich back, here's the cost. I don't know what you have in mind. I don't know if you have a fundraiser in mind or what you think. And he just so gracefully said, Deborah and I are on board for whatever it costs to get this album completed. After the initial shock of the fact that God had lined it up for all the finances and a producer, I started thinking to myself, okay, who do I want to play and who do I want to be on this album? And Just started handpicking people that I had worked with at the different churches in the area, and mostly from Journey Church, some people that I have really had some amazing relationships with, and ended up with a team of musicians who are just fabulous. We had a meeting and had them all over to our house and had dinner, and Darren and I just asked them, hey, are you on board to do this with us? It's a huge time commitment. Each day that we were there was just this huge level of excitement and just one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But it was one of those things where each second I thought about how amazing God was for allowing me to be in this studio. It brought this level of excitement to where I just couldn't wait for everybody to hear the music that we were producing. My biggest thought and prayer was just asking God that He would use this music and that it would get into hands of people that have never heard Christian music, that have maybe been hurt in the past by going to church, that He would use this music to just tell people who He is and how good He is. And if He used me and my voice to allow people to hear that message, even if it was just one person, that my mission here was fulfilled, because it's all about the one, in my opinion. So my prayer is that people who have never heard His word and maybe how good He is, that they'll hear this music and it'll change their lives. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible has been, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. And one of the big things through this whole process for me has been just seeing that God knows your path before you even realize what that path is. And He knew before I knew that this would be one of the greatest passions and joys of my life. So I'd like to invite you, your family, your friends, your kids, your coworkers, anybody who you think might be interested in listening to our music, to our concert on January 18th. It'll be an amazing night of worship and celebration for what God has in store for this album. Please come to my concert. Am I getting across though, like that God was the one that orchestrated this?